you were starting to play guitar now, we touched base on our dream pedals, what our desert island pedals,
vintage stuff,
and this vintage stuff, and the stuff we started out with. But if you were a beginning guitar player now, you would not want to spend $200 on a guitar pedal.
Yeah, and
or if you're a father wanting to get into, buy something for your kid and he wants a pedal,
right?
What do you buy?
Well, I mean,
specifically,
here's how I approach it as a father myself, and meeting a lot of fathers and even young kids like at NAMM and stuff that come up. I think it's great that they want to play the stuff or even want to buy the stuff. That's awesome. But if it's like a beginning guy, he knows like 2 or 3 chords. I mean, I usually say don't waste your money on a $200 pedal.
Get some instructional DVDs or something else.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
get
let
you more
your
into the
ear
instrument.
develop. Just keep practicing, keep doing what you do, and eventually you'll hear the difference between that, $30 tube screamer and that vintage tube screamer. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, for the most part, I mean, all the cheaper Chinese stuff. If you're just starting out, and that could be like Dan Electro or
right, not the law, not the against the law Chinese stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's just because if you're just experimenting with tones and you don't really know like what does a distortion do, what does an overdrive do,
right?
That's a good place to get your feet wet.
Yeah, and I actually had a friend of mine. You know him. He does some graphic work for us, but he said, "Man, I love the sound of your board. I love the sound of your effects, but I don't play enough to warrant buying that kind of stuff. So I want to put together a board of basically those sounds. How do I go about it?"
Right.
And to me, that was a lot of fun because I'm so used to recommending, our pedals, and probably shouldn't tell you this as my boss, but if somebody asks for a pedal and I think another brand is going to do it better than ours, I'll tell them.
Right.
If they're wanting something, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to, like, for instance, a guy today said he wanted a pedal that was more of an EQ, clean, transparent overdrive, but had the EQ of the Pinnacle. So he wanted a transparent overdrive, but the EQ of the Pinnacle. And I told him, I said, we have a transparent overdrive, but nothing that has that EQ sweep, And, I said, I can research, see if there's anything else out there for you. I said, but we don't have it.
Interesting, though.
Yeah, isn't it?
That's a nice product idea.
Yeah.
Store that in mind.
Patent pending. So, I mean, things like that. But I'll tell you right now, specifically, my favorite overdrive for the money is the Digitech Bad Monkey.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's a great pedal
for the money. Great pedal.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I could be wrong.
I'm
they're
not a
like
huge fan of
40,
bypass, but
yeah, they're like $40 or $50, $39 or $49. Do you know?
They're pretty inexpensive.
Yeah,
I know
had
they were
one
at
forever.
time. So yeah, that was a great sound overdrive.
I actually had a Bad Monkey just because I was in the store. I saw it. I picked it up. Thought I'd put it in my gig bag because I go to a lot of open mic nights and a lot of blues jams. I actually wound up putting it on my board because I had an overdrive pedal go out on me, and I left it there for years. I loved that pedal. And you explained to me that, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a tube screamer with a bass control?
Yeah.
That's pretty much, I mean, there may be some differences in there, but I think
if I recall right, yeah, the schematic was just basically just another bass control added in there.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty much just a dead plain tube screamer.
Yeah, so I mean, and like I said, they're pretty cheap. And you touched on the Dan Electro pedals. Remember the mini pedals?
Yeah, the tuna melt was like a really cool tremolo, actually.
Yeah, it was. I had that one. I had what were you getting ready? Did you have some?
I had the milkshake.
The milkshake?
That was a chorus.
Okay.
Man, I had a phaser. I think it was like pepperoni phaser. I can't
remember.
Yeah, I think that was based off like a Phase 90.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
But the sleeper in that whole line, the chicken salad.
That was the
vibe.
The vibe, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it sounds great, man. Like,
really?
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I remember taking one of those apart. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not real intense, but if you could ramp up the intensity on that, it's like, I mean, you might want to say it's like vibey for a phaser.
Yeah.
Or phasey for a vibe. Right. You know what I mean? It's like that middle ground, but it sounds really good. Okay, Max, I'll put you on the spot.
I get to talk?
You're wrong. Just so you know,
before
you start, you're already wrong.
Okay. Bargain pedal, specific.
How much money do you have to spend?
Well, I mean, just say it. We'll just,
It's a beginning guitar player.
Yeah.
It's the 8-year-old kid who's playing guitar, and he's like, I want an overdrive. What should I get, Uncle Max?
I don't know how to address that. Okay, well, if I had like,
You mentioned one before we started, though. That's probably the most popular one ever.
yeah, there's a couple different ones. I mean, as much as I don't like it now, but back then the Boss DS1. I mean,
Yeah.
especially if you're getting into mods, it's a great one to start with. A couple of used Boss pedals though. The Blues Driver, you can find those used $30-$40 sometimes. Tube Screamer, I picked up a TS9 DX. Yeah, I paid like $45 for it.
You still use that, don't you?
I
That
still
sounds
use
great.
it for really jams.
That's
yeah,
the
they're great.
DX is the one that has different
modes.
Different modes,
Yeah,
right?
it's
like a
switches
TS9
different
high.
clipping diodes.
What's it?
basically.
Is that what it's doing? Different clipping diodes?
Yeah, that and it's changing some of the non-inverting. It's changing some gain.
But yeah,
Right.
Tube Screamer, obviously a great pedal.
Yeah,
you know?
that's definitely what I go with.
Okay.
But for a beginning guy, that may be a little bit steep. What are they, like $99 or something like that?
Yeah. So, try to think new. I don't know.
Man, yeah, new. I would definitely check out like a Boss pedal, like a DS1. I mean, I think you can get a new one for like what, $30-$40.
Yeah.
You can get a used one up for $20.
Yeah.
But what? Okay, but you have the DS1 that's pretty inexpensive, but delays, reverbs, chorus.
It'd be hard.
Is it a brand called Delta? Maybe that's fairly
Yeah,
inexpensive.
Delta. They're,
Then
yeah.
Delta?
A couple different clones, but I think even those are starting to get $60-$70.
Are they really? I
think so.
I imagine-
Arion had some really good stuff.
Dude, their
Tubulator.
chorus is killer.
Chorus is awesome. Yeah.
That's one of the, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a big chorus guy, but I mean, heck, guys like, Mason at Vertex, I mean,
Yeah.
he started out modding those from like guys like Michael Landau. I mean, if Michael Landau's using this, it can't suck, right?
Yeah, I mean it's actually a pretty good sounding chorus.
Yeah, I can honestly can't think of like a cheap delay though. Inexpensive, let me say it that way.
Right.
Because I think I don't want to say not to buy something because you have to learn what's bad to learn what's good. But one thing I had that I wish I never would have bought, knowing what I know now, is like those Digitech RP50s and things like that.
Yeah, I didn't.
I mean, had I known that, like, had I had that money and been able to be, educated,
Which
I
it's
would have
cool
bought something
because
different.
I mean, some of that stuff, like if you're beginning, it gives you an idea of what stuff does, right?
yeah.
So,
But now you can do that with GarageBand, Amplitude.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think Amplitude might be expensive. I can't remember.
there's a trial version now.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
So the landscape's changed there.
yeah,
dramatically.
completely. And I hate to say it, but the 8-year-old guitar player that's just starting out is going to be more intuitive to that kind of thing
Oh, absolutely.
than probably the 40-year-old guitar player just
Probably.
starting out. But no, I mean,
So you know what I was thinking? Delay. Doesn't Modtone? Didn't they make like a $50 delay?
I don't
are cool
know.
ones.
I know they do a reverb, but
I swore they did a PT2399 bass delay.
really,
Yeah.
okay.
I thought so. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, you still got your phone out, Max?
Look it up, monkey.
No, I didn't mean it that way. Gosh.
Now, if you look at some like T-Rex stuff, you can get some used stuff in that price bracket, that $50 to
Yeah.
$60 price bracket.
Yeah,
there's
it's
some new
used,
stuff too,
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I always, like, I don't know. The used market, I'm mixed about that, I mean, there's obviously deals to be had, but at the same time, man, you got to support your builder,
Right.
For my money, it's the Bad Monkey. You like the DS1, and you like a lot of
Any
used
tube
gear.
screamer, used tube screamers can go
Yeah.
around.
Okay, what was it you liked? I forget.
It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Arion stuff.
Arion,
like the
yeah, yeah,
Tubulator. Great tube screamer.
Okay, the
Some of the-
Tubulator, yeah.
Yep. Some of the earlier Dan Electro stuff was like Daddy-O was actually one of my favorite distortions after
yeah.
modifying.
After modifying.
I'm a
He's
tinker.
honest.
I'm a tinker. Okay, with this caveat, I've always been the guy, after I bought the pedal, I tore it open to see what I could do to it.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.